Okay, guys. So this is Caleb with the Fightworks podcast, part of the normal broadcast team here. But I'm joined by two voices that I'm guessing the audience has not been exposed to before. Guys, introduce yourselves real quick. You start first.
My name's Billy Denny.
Billy Denny and?
I'm Brent Alvarez.
Brent Alvarez, okay. So you two guys, in the last few days, have come into a sudden fame of a sort, right, for something that happened. Why don't you guys tell the story?
Yeah, you can make me do it. So we woke up about 3:30 a.m. in Eugene, Oregon, to head out, drive here, 12 and a half hours. And when we got here, we trained up at 10th Planet Legends with Eddie Bravo for about 4 hours. And then about 11:30, we were looking for somewhere to sleep, and we found a Comfort Inn. And got our room, went upstairs to check, to get in our room, and that key didn't work. So we headed back down the elevator, and as soon as we walked out of the elevator, the manager eyeballed us and started running after this guy and saying, hey, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. He just robbed me. Immediately after that, we ran to the guy, and we saw him stuffing the gun into his bag. Brent saw the gun. I didn't see the gun. I saw it. But I immediately went around to his side and got a body lock and then controlled his wrist to point him down to the ground. I didn't want the gun, pointed at anybody but the ground.
Yeah.
And from there, Brent was very diplomatic with the guy. He didn't seem like he wanted to really shoot anybody. So we didn't get any more violent than that.
Okay. So, guys, most of us in the audience, including myself, as I hear this, you say, okay, there's been a robbery. That's bad news. But when we hear there's firearms involved, we probably don't chase the guy with the firearms if we don't have one. So the question I think most people want to know is, what made you do that?
I trained in Krav Maga years before I got involved in cage fighting and jiu-jitsu. And I also bounced for quite some time. When I came out, the clerk had made eye contact with me. And at that point, he's yelled, there's a gun, there's a gun. He just robbed me, and he ran up and got us all involved, basically, because he grabbed a hold of the guy, and the guy was stuffing the gun in the bag. As soon as I heard gun, my Krav training kicked in. We do a lot of weapons training in Krav, gun takeaway, shotguns, knives. And that part of me, I didn't think. I was right there in front of the guy. I reached for his hands. I could no longer see the gun because he put it in the bag, so I couldn't tell if his finger was on the trigger or not. But once I heard there was a gun involved and he's right in front of me, it's like, you're not going anywhere. You might as well do something. So get a hold of that gun hand and hope it doesn't go off.
Okay, it sounds like the entirety of this event happened very fast.
It did. It did. It ended up being about a 10-minute process.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the guy was communicating and he wasn't kicking and punching, so
let me direct your attention to mat number 2.
My bouncing part took over. I was like, I'm just going to diffuse the situation if I can, kind of talk him down like a negotiator would. And I said, what's your name, man? What's your name? I said, my name's Brent. What's your name? He's like, it's Carlos. And we found out later it's not his name. But he's like, I just want to go. I'll give you the money back. He's like, I need this money for my little girl. I need the money for my little girl. And he goes, I screwed up. And I said, hey, man. And so I was like, I was keeping the gun down, and the clerk reached into the bag and pulled out all the money. And the guy's, let me go now, let me go. I said, you're not leaving without the gun. Yeah. I said, we have to have that gun here. I don't want you making mistakes. And we never intended to let the guy leave, but I thought if we could talk him down, like give him the possibility, like it would go peacefully. So he keeps moving back and forth, but not hitting us, and we're not hitting him. We're just restraining him. This goes on for about 7 minutes before I talk him out of the gun. He drops the gun in the bag. I said, show me your hands. He shows me his right hand now, kind of still holding on to it. The clerk reaches in, pulls the 9mm out. And at that point, the clerk takes off, and Billy and I proceed to go ahead and take him to the ground. We body lock him, rear naked choke. And I asked the clerk, has he called the cops? He's like, no. I was like, go call the cops. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, wow. I was waiting for the police to arrive. I guess you guys were too.
Yeah, and so it took about 4 minutes after the cops were called to show up. We held him down there. And the video online's edited, but it's about a 10-minute process.
Wow.
So
what did the cops say when they come and hear this story? They said, you guys are dummies. What were you doing?
They were very astounded.
It was like really rare that anybody actually steps up and, actually helps somebody out. They were telling us about women in the alleyways, people walking by and they're getting raped and nobody helps them. I'm like, well, that's not how it happens up in Eugene, or at least where I'm from.
Santos is
wow.
now.
So, I mean, What happened? I mean, did they give you like, hey, just a pat in the back, or was there anything more to it?
They were, I think they were astounded that we did that.
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of like, it was sinking in for them as it was sinking in for us.
Yeah.
I mean, they were really proud of us. They said that the news was going to want to talk to us and everything, and we didn't think nothing of it.
And it was funny too, because they were like, maybe our captains are gonna make us do some Brazilian jiu-jitsu training now for their teams and everything.
I see.
It's just nice, the sports getting out there.
Well, I mean, this is great news, not only as a human story, but as a jiu-jitsu story too, and Krav Maga. We don't want to kind of underplay the importance of Krav. We're all jiu-jitsu guys, but
yeah.
that had a lot to do with it.
Well,
so
the Krav was great on the feet, but you needed the jiu-jitsu for that ground fight. So
yeah, to keep them restrained.
This is terrific. So thank you guys very much for telling the story. I know everybody online's been talking about it. Any last words for the family here watching and listening out there?
Can't think of anything to say. My mind is on blank.
That's okay. That's all right. I mean, you guys did your part, and I know everybody appreciates it. So congratulations and thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Thanks. And congratulations on your performance today.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right, take care.
You too.